Whoa. Prices are way too wobbly in the Miami-Dade real estate market, and it's begging the question, is now the time to get in before it takes off again and it's too late? Or is it the time to wait for a 2008 style crash and burn? Well, let's talk about it in this video, along with all the market trends and market data that you need to know in order to be the most informed consumer in the market and make the best decisions for yourself and your family. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent. And I gotta say, guys, I'm pretty shocked by this data today. We're gonna be looking at single family homes in the Miami-Dade market, in the normal non-luxury market, which represents 90% of the sales. And these are all the single family homes that are $1.5 million and less, okay? So that's what we're looking at for the month of November 2023, now that we have all that data has come in. And we're going back through January 2019, okay? So the first little bit of data I want to show you guys here is inventory, all right? More specifically, active number of listings, which is, also the, it's like the fancy name for inventory, came in at 3,140 listings, okay? 3,140 active listings for November. That's up from 3,024 in October, which is an increase of 116 additional single family homes, okay? Which is also a 3.8% increase month over month. So pretty respectable increase there for just 1 month. However, last November, we were at 3,807 active listings, which is 17.5% less year over year and a reduction of 667 units, okay? So we're down from last November, but we're up from last month. We're working our way back up to this little point right here. In my opinion, come spring market, it's gonna be well above that point, okay? And that really is, part of the question here is what happens in the spring market, right? If we're seeing 5 months in a row of inventory increasing, okay, that's what's happening right here. In a time when we normally don't see inventory increase, in fact, in the holidays, we normally see inventory decrease. Well, what's going to happen in the spring market, because the spring market is generally when we see more listings coming onto the market. So if we're seeing more inventory in the holidays and then we get to the spring market and we see even more inventory, well, you can see why I think that it'll be past this point by that time. Somewhere around like, June, July, when the summer market starts, after the spring market is over. I think we're going to be probably back here in these like 2020 levels before things got crazy. We shall see. I will be reporting on it on this channel. So new listings, that's our blue line, came in at 1,152, which is unfortunately 214 less new single family homes for sale, or 15.7% less month over month. So that's that little decrease right there. Not the best news, but low sales, as you'll see, are what is propping up the total supply, okay? It's not all is lost. The sales are so low that a little decrease in new listings is not gonna, ruin the holiday party, right? So, if you're hoping for more and more supply like me and like most other people, don't worry too much about this little decrease in new listings. Overall, the trend this year pretty much has been upwards, as you can see. So that's good. And year over year, we're also pretty similar. A little bit less than the 1,179 new listings last November, okay, which was right. Very, 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 minimal difference of only 27 new listings or negative 2.3%. So not a big difference year over year. And again, it is normal to see less new listings in the holidays, okay? But we had strong numbers since August, okay? So I was personally hoping to see that turn into a trend, but alas, okay? We had this like uptick of nice, strong numbers here and then, went down. But, it is what it is. That's life. And we continue on and we continue looking for the good deals in the market, which is what I do with my clients. Help you find the good deals. Love it. Love saving people money and making people money. It's like my favorite thing. And next up, wow. All I can say is wow. Do we have some big news for median sale price, okay? That's what we're looking at here. and really, honestly, the sheer number of sales for single-family homes in Miami-Dade. So first off, median sale price decreased by $5,000 from $580,000 to $575,000, which is a 0.9% month-over-month decrease. However, that's on the heels of the September dip to $573,000, showing that there is definitely some pricing instability here. You know, you look at that last little bit of the line there and you see, whoa, hold on, it's not just infinitely going to the moon forever. What's going on? Okay. You know, it was 588,600 in August, which was the peak. You know, that's this little peak right here. So, you know, is it just a holiday slump, or is it, you know, conflation of or a conglomeration of high interest rates and you know, low inventory, buyers not being able to find what they want to buy, you know, plus the holidays, probably a mixture of all these things, right? But sales tell a really foreboding story here, guys. At 634 for November, that's a 160 sale decrease of 20.2% month over month. Just in 1 month, a 20.2% reduction in the number of sales, okay? From October's 794 sales, and, you know, it's actually even less, believe it or not, than last November's 693 sales, okay? Which was already a slowing market. So we can probably expect to see sales decrease again in December, would be my guess. But the question is, will we see the first of the year pop-up like we have seen, you know, right there? We saw it in 2022. We saw it in 2021. We see it in 2020, right? You saw it in 2019. So will we see that first of the year pop-up, or will it be hampered by high interest rates, okay? I think it'll be a pop-up, but I don't think it'll be as pronounced of a pop-up as some of these other ones. Even though we did just recently see interest rates decrease a bit, I think that people are still kind of getting used to that. The economy is not as strong as it was. You know, that's one reason I think that we're seeing that the Fed is planning on reducing their bank-to-bank rates next year, is because I think they see that we're already in a recession and they're acting accordingly because they really want to nail that soft landing, right? So I think it'll be a bit of a pop-up, but less pronounced. Personally, it'll probably be somewhere in the range of like 900 to 1,000 sales. You know, once we kind of hit that, you know, that peak, it'll probably go bloop right up to there, maybe 1,000, sort of in like the February, March, April range, right? That's if rates stay in this sort of mid 6 to 7% range where we're at. You know, we were in the sevens for, you know, a couple, like 2-3 weeks. We've been in the mid sixes now for literally a few days. But, you know, that could increase. The number of sales could increase if rates continue decreasing. You know, and we see more inventory continuing to pile up and coming into the spring, like I'm, you know, kind of expecting and illustrating here in this video. So we could see that number of sales drastically increase. You know, if interest rates go down to low sixes, it's a lot easier to buy your rate down from 6 to 5% than it is from 6.5 or 7 to 5%, right? Because that 5%, remember, about 80% of homeowners, I think it's 80 or 85% of homeowners have an interest rate that's either 5% or less, okay? 95% of homeowners have an interest rate that's 6% or less, okay? So as soon as we get under that 6% rate, you're going to see a lot more listings coming on the market, some more people selling, more people buying, etc. That's when we're going to get back to more of like a normal market, so to speak, in terms of, you know, inventory and sales and these kind of things. Maybe not necessarily appreciation, because I feel like we've sucked a lot of appreciation out of the market in the last few years with the drastic, crazy run-up and median sale price here. But I could be wrong about that. You know, we're going to have to see how it all shakes out and what the demand is in terms of, you know, demand and supply and what people are willing to pay. Now, just in case you guys were curious, here's what interest rates have been doing recently here. So this is over the last year for the average 30-year fixed rate conventional mortgage, okay? And this is just like, these are from different sources here, so it kind of gives you like the average between the different sources. And what you can see is that, boom, like I said, in the last few days, interest rates dropped like crazy. This is because the 10-year treasury yield also dropped, okay? And that we're going to talk about that more in a second. But you can see that interest rates, like I said, have started to, get more friendly as of basically November and, November 1st. And with the peak of rates hitting just above 8% over here in mid-October, we're now hovering in the mid-sixes, which is, like I said, a much easier rate to buy down 1% or so for anyone who that makes sense for. But what will happen going forward is anyone's guess, right? If interest rates go lower, like I said, we could see more listings, more sales, more buyers coming into the market, more demand. If interest rates go back up again, if we see more inflation and the Fed raises interest rates on bank to bank and then 10-year treasury goes up and then mortgage rates go up, well, then we could see a continuation of the trends that we've been experiencing over the last year of decreasing supply, decreasing sales, while the median sale price continues up. So, some people will tell you that interest rates are going down because it's an election year coming up and they'll absolutely continue to decrease because of that. But I actually looked into this and it's not really borne out by the data. I kind of expected the data to show something along those lines, but it didn't. So, I won't go into this video specifically because I don't want to make this video too long. But, maybe I'll make a specific video about that. Let me know in the comments if that's something that would be actually interesting to y'all. But we love to see this drop in interest rates. And then here's that 10-year treasury. Let me fit it to the screen, baby. And you can see, the 10-year treasury is at 3.915. So you see that sort of big drop there in the 10-year treasury also was sort of mirrored by that big drop in interest rates, okay? So according to Business Insider, the general consensus is that mortgage rates will decrease in 2024. We've seen them decrease now at the end of 2023, so it's not that big of a stretch of the imagination to imagine they decrease a little bit in 2024 as well. Some people are predicting that rates will stay above 7% throughout 2024, which now, obviously that seems a lot less likely as of a few days ago. Other people, like other entities and other individuals like the MBA or the Mortgage Bankers of America, expect rates to decline to around 6% or 6.1 specifically in the case of MBA by the end of 2024. As for me personally, I tend to be more in the latter camp of getting closer to that 6% range. But, I do expect any decreases to be much more gradual from here, okay? I think we dropped that like Christmas gift of 7 to 6.5, and I think from here it's going to be kind of the Fed like testing the waters to try and continue their goal of what they perceive as this magical soft landing, okay? Don't flame me in the comments for saying magical soft landing, okay? That's what they claim, all right? I'm just saying that that's what they claim. You can think that it's real or not real or that it can happen or not happen. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think the Fed is going to continue striving for that goal of what they perceive as this magical soft landing by controlling overnight bank-to-bank rates, okay? So let's get into this a little bit. What are you talking about, Jake? So those overnight rates by the Fed are the cost that banks charge other banks to borrow money, okay? Which sends a signal to the broader market about the Fed's monetary policy overall, okay? Their monetary policy stance, okay? So if the central bank raises rates, it might lead to higher interest rates across the board, okay? Because the cost of borrowing money goes up, right? Including the yields on government bonds like the 10-year treasury yield, which is the, sort of benchmark for interest rates in the economy. So when you hear people talking about, the 10-year treasury yield affecting mortgage rates, etc., they're referring to the relationship between interest rates on government bonds and the interest rates on mortgages, okay? So, when the 10-year treasury yield goes up, it often leads to an increase in mortgage rates because mortgage lenders now are facing higher costs of borrowing money on their end of things. So what do you think they're going to do? Of course, they're going to pass on those costs to the borrowers. They're not just going to take the costs on themselves and make less money, right? They're going to pass it on to you and me, right? In the form of higher interest rates. So when the 10-year treasury yield goes down, mortgage rates may follow suit as borrowing costs decrease. And I say may because it's not a direct correlation, okay? Things get more expensive, you can guarantee, if things get more expensive for lenders, you guarantee they're going to get more expensive for you. As things get less expensive for lenders, it may take a little bit of time for like the free market to sort of balance that out on the way down, and competitive advantage of one lender offering less, and then the other guy has to catch up to them and lower their costs, right? So people often use that 10-year treasury yield in order to get a sense of where rates might go based on the cost of borrowing for lenders, okay? So that's just the important thing to kind of keep in mind. Right now the 10-year treasury is at 3.915 as of the filming of this video, and as you can see, it's been decreasing overall since mid-October, pretty much, like mid-late October, it's been decreasing, okay? So let's take a look at average days on market and the close price to original price ratio. What did you just say, Jake? What's the close price to original price ratio? Well, that's just the close price to original price ratio is a percentage expressed of the difference between an original list price and a sale price, okay? So what do I mean? If a house listed for $100,000 and it sold for $95,000, the close price to original price ratio is 95% because they got 95% of what they were asking for, okay? Pretty simple concept. Sounds really complicated, but when you explain it, it's pretty simple. So let's look at average days on market. And we can see that they continued downwards there in the green line from 50 days in October to 44 days on market in November, meaning that the market's moving quicker, okay? This is a trend that we've seen develop over this whole year, basically. While we've had less and less sales, higher prices, lower and lower inventory, until recently. And we're also starting to see days on market decrease, which almost at first sounds contradictory, right? Because you're like, wait a second, if there's higher prices and less sales, lower inventory, why would you see days on market decrease? You would think that would slow down the market, right? However, when there's a shortage of inventory, homes that are on the market tend to sell quicker because there's little to buy, right? And there are always people who literally, they need to move. They need to buy a house, right? So, that's what causes that lower days on market, okay? Now, close price to original price ratio, again, the difference between what somebody asked versus what they actually got, and then we take an average across the whole market. So the close price to original price ratio, or the CP2OP, came in at 97.6%, which is 0.3% higher than last month. So sellers getting a little bit closer to their asking prices, not anything crazy, but that's what's happening, okay? That's the data. Don't get mad at me. All right, don't flame me in the comments, bro. Now, months of inventory, all that means is how long would it take to sell the existing supply of inventory if no new homes came on the market, okay? So months of inventory currently going straight up to, there's not even a roller coaster that goes that straight up, right? Literally straight up to the stratosphere, the moon, wherever you want to go. And it's landing at 5 months of inventory in November, up from 4 months in October and 3 in September, okay? So we went 3, 4, 5, right? And, we can see that it had actually been in that 3% range since March. All of this, even though it's not a flat line, that all equates to 3 months of inventory, okay? So this month of inventory really makes it feel like we might have a competitive spring market, but we're going to see, okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, if you have higher months of inventory, it's taking longer to sell the properties, right? And then all of a sudden you have a bunch of properties come on the market throughout, basically the end of this year through the spring market, right? Well, there's a lot of demand sitting on the sidelines, okay? So that months of inventory probably going to be going down come spring market. It feels slow right now because it's the holidays, right? We had that big decrease in sales. That's what basically is creating this high months of inventory, okay? So that's what's going on in the market, y'all. It's super important to analyze the data and be objective about it, because if you don't, then you could be falling victim to the doom and gloomers and the, extreme, people on YouTube even and CNBC or on TV and stuff like that are going to tell you, either it's about to crash any second now, or the prices are only going to continue to go up, et cetera, et cetera. So what do I, as a objective, I would like to think non-biased real estate agent, because I literally will tell people not to buy a property for certain reasons, right? Whereas most people will just say buy, right? I am very objective and always look at things as if I was the one purchasing or I was the one selling whenever I'm dealing with my clients. All my contact info is in the description down below. So what do I think as a objective, data-driven, non-biased real estate agent in the Miami market? What do I think is going to happen? Well, I think we're going to continue to see inventory increasing. Sales are going to continue to be low until February, maybe March, but we'll start to see that pick up probably in February. I think we're going to see way more inventory in that spring market than we normally see because interest rates are a lot lower than they've been over the last, honestly, couple years, really. And what we're going to see, well, maybe almost 2 years, but what we're going to see is a lot more listings coming on the market because of low interest rates, and we're going to see a lot more inventory coming in the market because people have been waiting to sell and thinking like, oh my gosh, where am I going to be able to move to if interest rates are this high, right? And I have a current mortgage rate of like 5 point whatever, or 4 point whatever, or 3 point whatever. And how can I justify selling and then buying something new with a higher interest rate? Well, with interest rates coming down, you're going to see more sellers coming on the market because they're going to be able to make that justification in their mind. Now, as well as that influx of inventory also will incentivize more people to list because they think, okay, well, there's more options for me to choose from now, right? Additionally, I think that we're going to see, median sale price I think is going to also go up year over year in Miami next year. I don't think it's going to be as much as the previous year, which was around like 8% year over year appreciation for single family homes in the non-luxury market. It was like 7.8%, something like that, right? And I think that we're going to see a nice appreciation, but I don't think it's going to be quite that much. I think it's going to be more like 5%, somewhere around there. We'll see. Could be wrong, could be right, but I think it'll be pretty similar appreciation, but a little bit more modest. Why do I think that? Well, I just think that people's budgets are already stretched. I don't think that there's a ton more room for people's ability to pay more and more and more, unless the trend of people from outside of Florida who make more income continues, and we still see more people moving in willing to pay California and New York prices for single family homes down here. But a lot of it also is going to depend on what's going on with this insurance issue in the state, what's going on with property taxes in this state, because they never get lower, even though insurance is getting higher. So a lot, like I said, people's budgets are just stretched. Consumer debt is at like all-time highs. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out, but I don't really see the same amount of appreciation next year as we did this year. But I do still think it's going to be appreciating. I don't see a scenario where prices go down in Miami. I'm sorry. It's just, that's my opinion. Like, I don't see prices really going down much. I think if anything, they're going to kind of like keep wobbling a bit, for next couple months or so. And then they're going to continue to sort of slowly go up maybe 0.5% or so per month, something like that. And that's what I think is going to happen, guys. So what do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Let me know if you think I'm right. I'd love to hear that. But either way, guys, I appreciate you watching the video, and I will see you on the next one because it's coming. It's going to be coming. Hope you guys have a fantastic, incredible holiday season and New Year's. And don't forget that, just smash the like button, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell. And, all my contact info's in the description down below if you need the best realtor in Miami-Dade. If you don't want the best realtor in Miami-Dade, call someone else because, I'm the best. So that's that. And I thank you guys again for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.